What's up, guys? I wanted to give my real quick review of House of the Dragon Season 1. Now, I never watched Game of Thrones before, but I said, hey, you don't need to watch Game of Thrones to watch House of the Dragon, so I'm going to give it a shot. And I was hooked on this show after the first episode. And after the second episode, I was even more hooked. And after the third episode, I said, okay, I got to go watch Game of Thrones. And after a binge of Game of Thrones, it made me appreciate how fucking great this show is even more. Season 1 of House of the Dragon clears Season 1 of Game of Thrones, in my opinion. It is clear as it. So this show feels much more mature than Game of Thrones feels. Even though this show takes place before Game of Thrones, this show feels much more mature than Game of Thrones. This show feels better acted, and it has better writing. As of right now, in Season 1. And that's because a lot of these people, they're like actors. They aren't the actors you're going to see in the big blockbusters or in the occasional indie film. They're like, they go to school for this shit. They growed up on this shit. These are the type of actors that can convey a million things with just a look. That's how great they are. In this show, it has great actors from bottom to top. You have Millie Acock as Princess Rhaenyra at the beginning, and Emily Carey as Alicent in the beginning for the first 5 episodes. They killed it. Matt Smith as Daemon. He kills it. And you have Paddy Considine. I hope I said that right. You have him as King Viserys. Oh my God, does he own this fucking role? I love Bob Odenkirk. I love Better Call Saul, man, but I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna get it, man. We thought next year was gonna be your year. I don't think you're gonna get it next year. Paddy Considine owns this fucking role as King Viserys. Everything he does is great. The dragons are great, even though it's an iffy here and there. But overall, the dragons are great. I just love it. The thing I love most about House of the Dragon, this might be wrong to say, but it feels like everyone understands what's going on, even though it's set on time so far, like so long ago, and that's fucking dragons and all this shit. You understand the characters, what they're going through. You understand the petty shit they're going through. You just understand it, because you can relate to it. We can relate to everything they're going through without the kings and the queens and the dragons, but for the most part, on a human level, we can relate to these characters and their situations. And I think that's what I like most about this show. Over a show like, let's say, Rings of Power. That's just too high fantasy for me. And I don't even think that's just my problem with Rings of Power. I think that's just my problem with Lord of the Rings and most fantasy in general. It becomes too fucking high, where I can't relate with any of this shit they're talking about. I can't relate with none of this shit. But with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, I can relate and see where these characters are coming from on a human level. If you take out the dragons and all this shit, I still can relate and see where these people are coming from on a human level. And then I understand how times were back then, because it relates a lot of this. This show takes a lot from how things used to be back then, all those hundreds of years ago. So we can relate to that because we know how shit went back then too. Daemon's relationship with Ceres, I can relate to that. All the brother, on a human level, I can relate to it. I can see where they're coming from. The brother that never gets he wants to be king. He wants to be king. He wants to be more. But his brother gets to be more. You know? Then you have the relationship between Alicent and Rhaenyra. And they start off, I just can't believe 2 people who started out basically as best friends have such a hatred for him by the end of the season. Like the fucking hatred they have for each other. Well, I don't know if it's much hatred on Rhaenyra's side as it's more hatred on Alicent's side. And then this whole season really feels like it's just setting up for season 2. Then you have the kids and how basically, I don't got much to say about the kids. Like really, like there's a kid dies in the finale. Luke dies in the finale. And to me, that I don't really have an attachment with any of these kids. None of them. Like him dying in that finale felt like if Bronn had died when he got pushed out the fucking window. The fuck cares? I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't know you. I don't care. I don't know you. Like, so that's why like that finale was kind of like it like what they did wasn't underwhelming, but it's like I have no emotional connection with this fucking character. If he dies, he dies. I don't give a fuck. But the memes that got spawned from his death were so fucking funny. And I don't really have a problem with the writers changing shit up from the books. Because the books are this, you can interpret them so many different ways. But when they change shit up from the books, it always keeps us guessing as the audience. And I like that. And there's one or two of these people that got on the team that like, I can see that they can get in some fucking season 8 territory really fast. Like that shit they did in episode 9, that can get into like, you know what they did. That can get in some season 8 territory real quick. Don't lean on that shit. But I'm very excited to see where the show goes. 8 out of 10. It's not a perfect season. Really, 9 and 10. Those are the weakest episodes of the entire show, in my opinion. Those are the weakest. Like, at the entire season, those were the weakest episodes. And even their weakest episodes are great compared to most other shows. So 8 out of 10. Very much looking forward to season 2. Very much looking forward to see where everyone goes. I think I got everything. I covered everything. All the actors are great. If I didn't miss an actor or character, they're all great. All of them are great. I'm excited to see more Game of Thrones. Even though I did do a binge of Game of Thrones, and I'm still trying to do, so I binge Game of Thrones, but I'm trying to like get notes covered to that. Because I want to really cover everything throughout that whole 8 seasons. I don't want to just come here, do it in 10 minutes and dip. I want to do like an hour, really cover everything on Game of Thrones. It's half I haven't done my notes for that, and half I'm still kind of like, I can't believe that show started out so fucking great. And in season 7 and 8, they just dropped the ball so hard. I didn't like anything they did in season 8. That shit was terrible. I didn't like any of it. And my biggest disappointment character from that show, but I'll get into that so I've been to Game of Thrones. But yeah, I love the Game of Thrones universe, and I want to see more from House of the Dragon. I want to see I want to see the spinoffs they got. I want to see the Jon Snow show. I want to see it all. 8 out of 10. I'm in this universe, and I want more of this universe. Peace.